It's such a crazy fucking shit that we have here. Pull it up on my monitor. So I will make it clear, I'm not worrying about the ones that say existing contract expiring, because that means
me neither.
Because we don't fucking know at that point. Like they could still go back. But
Atlanta, let me pull this up too.
At least with Atlanta has a whole team. Not a great one, but it has a whole team. Tanks, supports, and DPS. If they went in with just this, with what they've got now, we know who they're starting.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be Gator,
Hawk.
Yep, Gator,
Masa, and Edison Sharp. Now, Edison and Sharp are both hit scan, so I would like to see them pick up a projectile. But I'm also wondering why Ursa and Saucy are gone.
They might be looking to pick someone new up, someone better in the projectile role. Because Ursa and Saucy, we didn't really see them that much this year, I don't think. I mean, we saw Ursa a little bit, didn't we?
Well, see, that's the fun, easy part. Ursa is really good, but no, we didn't see him a whole lot. And when he did come in, it was typically for like a map. And so then we're like, okay, finally, projectiles coming out. And it was going to be a big part of because like Genji and stuff. And so we're like, oh, they finally got to run Ursa. No, they go pick up Saucy, and they're like, oh, we're going to run him now.
Yeah.
I don't even think Saucy got really a fair shot.
Probably not, but
otherwise, Atlanta, not really that interesting, to be fully honest.
No, they're not. Who's next?
Boston. Not interesting because we know most theirs.
Yep. I'm so mad fucking Fusions is staying with their team. I mean, technically the offseason's not over yet, so anything could happen, but
yeah. But who knows?
Yeah. Nothing really interesting here.
What I will say I found interesting. Now, I'm also glad this came out because I didn't know Ating and Bacon Jack were tired. I didn't read their stuff.
But Bacon Jack I knew. Adding, I think I heard something about him, but
I knew he got released. I knew both of them got released. I just didn't know they were tired.
Yeah.
But something I do find very interesting is both of them just happen to also be the only Taiwanese players on the roster.
Oh, yeah.
So I found that kind of interesting. Now,
why is it interesting to you? Because I don't know, maybe your reasoning for it being interesting is different than my reasoning for it being interesting.
Well, couple things. First off, they're the only non-Chinese players. Now they still speak Mandarin, so that's not a problem. But if Rui wants a completely like pure Chinese team, then they can't technically be on there. Second of all, Taiwan wants to be out of China rule.
Correct. That is why it is interesting to me. And I don't know if you saw this the other day. It was actually it was probably last week in the National Post. It's a conservative leaning newspaper here in Canada, but President Xi said that, or basically said to the Taiwanese president to either submit and acknowledge and recognize China as the ruler of Taiwan or to prepare for war. We're fucked. I mean, to be fair though, China has used this aggressive language before, is what the article said. So, is anything gonna come of it? Probably not. But President Xi did also tell his troops to start mentally and physically preparing for battle, and they've been exercising or like doing military exercises. I think, is it the Taiwanese Strait? Is that what that's called? Is that the geographic location? I'm not sure if I have that particular part correct, but that is what the newspaper said. So that's all I really have to say or to add on to this.
So, because now I'm scared that we're about to see Taiwan fucking die. Let's go to Dallas Fuel. Make me feel better. They're not interesting, actually.
No, we knew they were doing a full overhaul. So the only one who has not been released is Doha. That's old news. Florida, we knew who was getting released. It was Karayan, right? Or was that Gargoyle?
No, it was Karayan.
It was Karayan. Okay. Yep. And
yeah, we know
then,
Karayan. The only ones we don't know about is Gargoyle, which I think is going to be coming back. I will make a prediction right here.
Mm-hmm.
Because we'll get to them in a bit, but I will touch on it, that New York, I believe, will not re-sign Animo. And I think Animo's going to Florida. That's what my call is right now. If he doesn't retire.
Okay.
I think if Animo goes on the free agent market, I think Florida's looking to get him. That's my bet right now.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, going to the Charge. Again,
we knew Nero was...
We had a feeling he's going to be... He still technically can come back, but we knew he was going to be a free agent. We just didn't know if he was ever going to be...
Yeah, same with Neptuno.
Neptuno was interesting because they declined his. I found interesting. They declined both their main supports.
Well, Neptuno, I think, is because it was just like visa issues trying to get him into China or Korea or wherever it was that they were playing.
Nero.
Pardon?
But the same things with Nero. And I mean, again, his contract's expiring, so they didn't have to decline his option. But that's what I'm.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm also with you that I think Nero's going to get released. But it's still interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Why would? But I still think Char is the most interesting to me.
Yeah, they might just want an upgrade. I think.
I mean, yeah, but damn, he didn't play that badly.
No, there might be better Korean options or like mixed options out there though. Because maybe
they'll go for Animo as well.
Because you've said yourself that what's it called? That the one place that that Koreans and like the Asian region can't really compete with is main supports. So they might be looking to maybe bring in a Western one, but then again,
get back Neptuno. Why don't you get rid of one of the best Western main supports?
Yeah.
Okay, he's probably like top 5, but still.
Yeah.
It's a big question mark. I think I'm saying Charge is going full Korean, or full-ish Korean, going full Asian. That's my bet.
Yeah.
I think they're getting rid of all their Western players because they're tired of dealing with visa issues. I think that's my prediction. Spark, not too shocking in most cases. We know their full team. I do. No, there was no one that I had to say. I think they're coming back. Yeah, we know their full team. If they actually have 7. They're the only team in the league that could start the league without getting in trouble because they have 7 on their roster.
Yeah, Gusha and QOQ are probably going to be your tank line.
Oh, I mean, they're the only 2 on the roster right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sawson is...
No, they already announced Sawson.
Oh.
Sawson's announced with Rhea. That's how we know Sawson's not coming back.
Okay.
The league just can't say that.
I was just going based off of here because it says...
Oh, yeah. The league can't say it because it's not technically over. But if we go back to their Twitter real quick, he's one of the 5 they announced.
Okay.
Thank you, Ado, Adora, Bebe, Sauce, and Rhea.
Okay.
So yeah, Sawson's gone. But I'm gonna say I'm a little scared Spark's not gonna do anything.
They might not. I think their main issue this year was adapting to new metas. So I think if you can
their issue last year.
So I think if you buff their coaching staff a little bit, then, or even if you just maybe add a couple extra pieces, that way you don't have to force your main roster to flex as much.
It's what I would like, but I just don't feel that that's going to happen because we saw this last year. They basically made no adjustments in the offseason besides getting Codus and Mika, who we wouldn't even see till halfway through the fucking season. Codus we saw once, and Mika we saw at the end. So Spark bothers me because I don't think they really understand how to. They're like, oh, we're good. We don't need changes. It's like, no, you need to always keep improving because you will get lapped if you don't.
Yeah, you'll get left behind.
This year saw that. But another point I do find interesting.
Well, I mean, they also weren't in NA, which a lot of teams.
No, but even then, better. I don't like. Look. Super said this on stream, and I do agree that I think there was a bit too much of an overhype and over thought of how good the Asian region was. Sure,
Yes.
Sure. There are bottom feeders, and the worst of NA is, there's no discussion, there's no argument that the worst of NA is way worse than the worst of China, of the Asian region.
Yeah.
London still wasn't that great. Chengdu still wasn't that great, and they still kept getting wins on these teams. Spark looked like poo. I promise you, Spark would have gotten the bottom feeders, but people like LA, both LA teams, I think even Atlanta, I think those teams would have like beat the Spark.
Mm-hmm.
I think Toronto could take it to Spark this past year. That might be overselling Toronto, but I think Toronto could get like a map or almost two off the Spark this past year. The Spark looked bad.
Okay.
That's just me, and I want them to learn from their mistakes and fix them. But otherwise, I also want to point out that this roster has gone from mostly Korean with one Chinese player to half Chinese.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is. At the end of the day, every fan base is going to want to see hometown players.
I'm with it. I'm just pointing it out.
Yep. Let's move on.
I don't know what made this change, but I just kind of found it interesting that they're like, oh, now we're all of a sudden being like all the Chinese players.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe because China said, hey, Chengdu's not going to do shit for us. Can you be good? And like, oh, sure.
All right, next is Houston.
Houston.
Boink
is gone. Boink is gone. Fuck yes. Fuck yes. Boink is gone.
Why are you so happy about that?
Boink fucking sucks.
Okay. Poor Boink. Hopefully he never sees this video.
Last year.
Yep.
I'm gonna make another bold claim. You ready for it?
Yep.
I think Houston is going back to all Western. I'm saying it. I'm calling it. Even though both their coaches are American coaches who have worked with Koreans before, notice that besides Boink, the only options that they declined were Meko, Jexet, and Repel. The Koreans. We have not heard anything about Blase or Linkser yet because even though they've said they're looking for team,
well, I mean, like, Muma's not coming back either, and neither is Boink. So I think the fact of the matter is, I would just go out and say we don't know yet what Houston's doing. I think your point of they're gonna go back to full Western is probably correct.
Or at least I still feel like they're gonna stay mostly Western. We're gonna see less than 3 Koreans on the team, more than likely.
Mm-hmm.
Because look at the only person that technically is still under contract, and that's Hydration.
Yeah, but that was because he signed this past year, didn't he?
So did Blase.
Well, Blase. Well, it also depends on the type of contract too, because you either have one where it's like a 1 year, and then you have the option to exercise, you exercise the option to continue it for 1 more year, or you just straight up sign a contract.
Still have that option until November 13th.
Until November 13th. But what Hydration says under existing contract, which means his contract probably didn't have that option. It was just a straight up 2 or 3 year contract.
It might still have the exercise, but you're right. It's not for this year. It's for like the next year or whatever.
Yeah.
And you're right. I just find it interesting, but again, besides Boink, because Boink shouldn't have been re-signed anyways, Meko, Jexa, and Repel were the only 3 that are already been declined, like officially declined.
Yeah.
Dante is becoming a free agent through existing contract. Blase.
Dante might be back. I think you bring Dante back.
I think you just got to pay him a lot. But yeah. Linkser can be pre-bought back.
Linkser is.
I'm saying in general terms. I'm not saying like that's good for the team or not.
I think there are upgrades out there that are better than Linkser.
I think there's more consistent players. I don't think I'm going to sit here and say I don't think there's anyone better than Linkser. I think there's people more consistent than Linkser.
Yes, sorry, that's what I mean.
Linkser at his best, I think he's one of the best, if not the best hit scan in the game. He's just way too damn inconsistent. If he's not feeling himself and he's in his and he gets like depressed or whatever, because that's welcome to the hit scan mentality. You're best off just running Blase again on hit scan because he's going to do better than Linkser will. So I definitely agree that getting someone more consistent is probably what you want to look for.
Next would be London. Give me 1 second. We are recording. Cool. I have to make sure it's been 15 minutes and I didn't check that. London, We knew they were releasing most of them.
We did.
J-Mac left on a mutual agreement.
Everyone left on a mutual agreement,
yeah.
which is what I find interesting.
Fuse and Sanguinar under contract still.
But why?
Bernard's under existing contract, so that's probably why.
The only thing I can sit here and assume is London went and said, "We fucked up. We'll pay out your contract for next year, but you got to leave." And they're like, "Fuck it, sure." So these players made their 2021 salaries already, and that's why they've agreed to leave. Because otherwise, I don't understand. Because they were clearly in this. The mutual agreement tells me they were in contracts and not an option situation. Because if it was just the option, the team gets the ability to just decline it and not have to pay them at all.
Yeah,
that's how that works. And a mutual agreement that says they're breaching the contract. Basically, they're ripping it in half and saying it's no longer a thing. But that's because we've agreed to a different situation of like another contract or whatever. And here it says we will release you, but my guess is they were like, we'll pay you what you were going to pay next year because we signed you to 2-year deals. So you will get your second year money. You just won't be playing.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay.
All right. Next is your Glads.
I'm glad to see all the ones that haven't been announced yet are coming back. That's all I care about.
Yeah. Birdring's coming back. Kevster and Mira both coming back. Jaru was released already. Bishu was released. Cloudy was released. OG was released. Space, they exercised the option, which is good. Big Goose and Shaz, we knew their contract. They're done. So nothing too surprising there, unless there's anything you want to add to that.
This is a good spot for me to say that I'm a little shocked that they keep, even though I guess it's for consistency, but they don't sit there and announce specifically like okay, everyone knows Big Goose is retiring. Why not put that he's retiring? You know, when we get to New York, I'm okay with someone like Hacksaw not being there because, well, Hacksaw just got announced yesterday. So
he was retiring?
Yeah. So, I mean, the league should have already known, but like if in case randomly they didn't, I don't mind this article being written before that they knew that. But like, it's been like 2 weeks since Big Goose got announced he's retiring.
Yeah.
AKM, Trill, and Unco are all going to Valorant. Why the hell did you not put Valorant? Just because it's a little confusing for anyone who's not paying attention on Twitter. I mean, it's like, AKM's still a free agent. No, he's not.
What I would like to say, though, is you probably don't put in Valorant if you're Blizzard because you don't want to advertise that a lot of your Overwatch League talent is leaving your game for another one. That's all.
4 announced.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not that big of a number. And anyways, it's already been like the mass exodus has already happened. Most people who I do agree with you that I don't think you do it anyways because you don't want the name of another game. I get that, but still, I find it kind of stupid that they've got them like this and they're like, oh yeah, they're still free agents. Try to sign them. I dare you.
Yep. Next is Valiant.
This is where the juice to me really does start.
Okay, so apply option declined. I don't remember seeing apply play at all though.
He played very little. He played a little bit when Echo first came out and a few other times, but very little.
KSP they exercised their option. KSF was anything else for KSF that I missed?
Not yet.
Okay, so we don't know yet. Shax, they're bringing him back. Dreamer, they're bringing him back. Gig was a free agent. They already announced that they were releasing him. They declined McGravy, which I don't really understand.
That's the juice part I want to know.
And then obviously Last Show and Rain are coming back. All right,
the only thing right now my brain says that would make any lick of sense is if for some reason the Valiant have the mentality of like, you know what, dude? You're so good, we want you to get paid more money. So get the fuck off our team. We're not going to pay you more money, but you deserve more money. So go find yourself a new team. That's the only thing my brain can say. That's why they declined his option. Because if he's an option, you get to abuse the fuck out of the fact that he has to accept the contract he's getting paid for this coming season and has to play for your team.
Yeah.
So Why the fuck would you decline McGravy?
I don't know.
Unless you said the N-word somewhere I haven't seen. What the hell?
Yeah. Or unless he pulls an XQC and roasts his Muma.
Maybe.
Who knows? But I mean, the guy also just won the fucking Havelka Awards, so there's no way anything like that happened. Give me 2 seconds. I have to pause this recording because I need to shit. I had spicy food, sir. I will be right back. To make sure this. Okay, cool. We're back. The recording seems to have resumed. Alrighty.
All right. So next is the New York Excelsior.
Yeah.
So.
Hacksaw is retiring.
Hacksaw's retiring. Nene left at a mutual agreement. What in the world does that mean? What, like?
It means they signing Pine, dude. They don't need Nene anymore.
I hope not.
You don't want to see Pine come back?
I want to see Pine come back. I love Pine. But Nene's really good.
Yeah.
And
Nene might be looking to go somewhere else.
Maybe. Possibly. But still, like, if it's a mutual agreement, he was under contract. For some reason, New York also doesn't want him. You know?
Who knows?
I don't know.
SBB?
I think of deja vu, so I want to hang myself, but you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. SBB. Not too shocking. I think he's coming back. Libro's probably coming back. Like both
probably.
These, they're just such good pieces. Sabiobi, I think, is coming back no matter what because he is the face. He is the captain. He is this team.
Yeah.
Libro, not so much. Libro is good. Libro's really good, and I would think New York fucking stupid to not bring him back. But it's been 3 years. He's been on the roster, and they haven't seen success, so maybe not.
Mm-hmm.
I think Libro, though, will easily get repicked up on another team if he is released. Probably all Korean because, I mean, this man's just so good that they will find a way to use him.
Yeah. Who are you? Option declined. Bianca, option declined. Hoppa, mutual agreement, so his contract is ending.
I think that's more that New York didn't want him. And
yeah,
Hoppa,
I don't.
Screwed. I want to go play with some other friends then, and it was probably okay with leaving. And I think you'll see Hoppa on a team where he is.
Yep. I don't think Hoppa worked that well with Mono. I mean, I didn't really see much, but I know Hoppa was a much more aggressive tank player, which was what they were going for when they signed him. But I don't think he was that good of a fit. I never really watched many of their games, so maybe you can correct me or give a little more insight on that.
Hoppa didn't look amazing this year. He definitely had his moments of struggling. I think Bianca was a lot better when they came in, especially I think when playing. I think it was Zarya. Hoppa Zarya did not look great. I think Hoppa's unfortunately one of the biggest players when it comes to 2-2-2 that got hurt. Hoppa is extremely flexible, but a lot of what he can flex onto is DPS. And you know what? There might be an argument for Hoppa just to go into DPS.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of like how Hydration switched roles for Hoppa to kind of switch roles because the man does have some really good DPS talent.
And Hoppa was on the charge.
What?
Hoppa was on the charge the year before, which means if Houston wanted to do a mixed roster, they could bring him in.
They could. He also was on Philadelphia before that.
Was he?
Yeah, he was on the 2018 Philadelphia roster.
Huh. Okay.
He was he couldn't play for the longest time because of suspension, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Along with Sato. And the moment both of them were able to play, they would basically play Sato Hotba, Fraggy Poco, and then they just learned Poco was better, and then they ran Sato Poco.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, as you can see, Onimo and Jonak have not been officially re-signed, and Mondu
is under contract still.
Is under contract already.
I don't even know who Mondu is. Did he ever play?
No, he's played very little, I think, at the moment.
Okay.
But he's, from what I've heard, he's a very aggressive main support. He was part of this because I don't think he turned 18 till way later in the year.
Mm-hmm.
But because they have him, I think there is a good chance you'll see Animo be released. Now, I think there's also a good chance Animo comes back. I think it's about 50-50 whether Animo or not comes back because Animo's been good for this team. I just don't know if New York wants to move on to Mondu, and because of that, they might release him. And that's why I say I think if they do release him and he isn't retiring, I think he's going to go to Florida because Florida doesn't have a main support, and they probably would look to pick him up pretty badly.
Next is Paris Eternal. Nico, they can't exercise soon. There's no way in hell they don't bring Soon back, just because it's an EU team. He's an EU player, and he's your best, and he's one of the best EU players. Period. So,
it's more than EU. It's specifically French.
Yes, that too.
So I agree. I think out of all the ones currently not quote unquote exercised, Soon is the most likely. I do find it interesting that they chose to decline Nosemite. I find it interesting. I find it interesting, not shocking, because they really look to just try to be on bin best the last portion of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, it's not shocking to see Nosemite go, but
bless you.
I do find it interesting. This kind of leaves them, unless Ben Best really does grind and get better at Winston, this leaves them without a Winston player.
Yeah. I think maybe you see Ben Best grind the Winston over the offseason, work on it a little bit more. They can always also sign someone else and bring them in. But, yeah.
Possibly. I just find it interesting. Poor Smex never got a damn shot, so that's unfortunate as hell.
And then Fielder, his contract is expiring.
That tells me it was a 1-year contract. I think they'd be damned stupid to not try to get him back, so I'm assuming he's coming back. I don't take any I don't take any stock in that at all.
Yeah. Next is Philly Fusion. Carpe is under contract.
Yeah, he has doesn't he have a 3-year contract? He signed this past offseason?
I don't know.
I think he does. His contract's for a little while. So Carpe's coming back. Unless they choose to get rid of him.
Chipsa option declined. He's a free agent. Obviously, he wasn't even a bench player. He was literally the bench. Obviously, he was just picked up for, as a PR move.
Absolutely. Which I will say is interesting why he's not coming back. That might sound dumb to a lot of people, but his whole the whole idea was it was meant to be a PR move. So why?
Because they got flamed so hard for it, and I think rightfully so. People
you already got flamed for it. Fucking keep him then.
Anyway, he's just coming back. Ivy, his contract is expiring.
I believe they're going to try to get him back. I do. I truly do. I think they're going to try to get him back. So
get who back?
I'm not putting too much weight into that.
Actually, interesting one here. EQO, they declined.
How is that interesting?
Well, he was one of your best players for the last 2 years, and still arguably one of your best. No, you don't think so?
It was really Carpe and him were really good at double sniper in 2018. 2019, I thought he got slightly overrated because EQ is a good player. Do not hear me wrong, but the man is pretty inconsistent.
Okay.
There are some times where it feels like he's just not in the server. It really feels like you don't even see him. And it's better to move Hisu and Ivy than EQO. And again, if you remember, they released him last year, technically. In the offseason, before this coming 2020 season, they announced that they were going to be saying goodbye to EQO. And it was actually a twist when they revealed their roster that they did the whole Defiant thing that Atlanta did to, announce a big name. It was big because we thought he was gone. So they were like, nope, we're actually going to bring him back for another year. And so that tells me that they were like, we're going to bring him back for another year. It didn't work out again. We're sorry, EQO, but bye. and he probably knew that. He probably knew that. So this isn't too shocking. I think EQ can see himself easily on another roster. I just don't know what roster.
Yeah. Tank, Fury, his contract is expiring. Poco, the team has not exercised their option yet. Sado's,
I think the
same
tank
thing.
line's coming back. I do. I think the tank line's coming back. I think you need someone to. I will again say I think you need a new main tank, not simply because Sato's bad or anything, but I think
Sato could literally go to any other team and be an improvement.
Absolutely, but I think it's more because I don't want Sato to have to do everything. Yeah, Poco said it when they picked up Fury. Poco said it when they picked up Fury that when they picked up him, he actually grinded and improved his play because he felt threatened at his position, and that's why Poco started the beginning of the season because he was really good.
Yeah,
Sato might need the same motivation, and think about it. If Sato then feels threatened and decides to say, "Hey, fuck it, I'm gonna grind now," think of how much better Sato can get where he already was.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's that level of thinking you've got to sometimes have and do.
But you also have to find someone who's actually going to be good enough that you could potentially start over Sato to put that pressure on him, right? If Philly decided to bring in fucking Beast, Sato would fucking just sit there and laugh.
Absolutely,
right?
But I mean, and my also point though is not really as much. It's also still to make it to where Sato doesn't have to do everything.
Yeah.
If Sato gets injured or sick or whatever and cannot play, who's playing main tank?
You run double off tank.
Yeah, that's gonna get you bullied. So yeah, you do that real quick.
Yeah.
I will always point that out when you have one person at a role. I also want to point out that we haven't mentioned it yet. KDG got released from Philly today.
I don't know who that is.
That was their coach.
Head coach?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. I find that very interesting.
Okay.
They've announced Chips as well as goodbye. Lamau.
Wait, KDG is Christopher, isn't it? Or no?
No.
Okay, KDG's okay.
No, Christopher. Well, because
Christopher. Okay, I got confused there because you said Chipsa and then KDG. I was like, K sounds like K. Christopher. Oh no.
No, Christopher spelled with a C.
Okay.
I was right. I
know Christopher spelled with a C. I just had a Papesia moment.
Shut the fuck up. They've already announced Boombox is also gone.
Yes, that we know.
I couldn't remember. I'm sorry, I forgot.
Funny Astro's coming back.
I thought it got announced, and I wanted to make sure I was right.
Yeah.
So, Boombox is gone, so they only have Alarm and Funny Astro.
Yep.
Get more sports, please.
Bring back Neptuno?
Maybe.
I don't
know. If Mo's gone, maybe Neptuno wants to come back. I don't know. It's again, it's simply the idea that I will always promote and talk about is you don't want one player at a role only because if they get sick or injured, someone has to then off roll.
Yep. Next is Shock. Ons is coming back. No surprise there.
Everyone's coming back except the ones that are currently their contracts are expiring.
Which is going to be Rascal's option or Rascal's is expired. Yeah. But they'll probably come back anyway.
I think almost there's one person I think that might not come back.
And that would be
Rascal.
Maybe.
I think I know that's crazy, and I don't fully. I'm not saying they're saying like I think it's a hot. Right, it's like a hot take that I don't think Rascal's coming back. I do think Rascal's coming back. I think like 80% of me says Rascal is coming back. But the thing is, you have Tayo, and you have Ons, who Ons is becoming really flexible nowadays. That we saw very little Rascal over this past year.
Yeah.
What does he really fill in this team anymore?
Sombra for sure still, I would think.
Ons' Sombra wasn't awful.
No, it was not as good as
Sombra's not that bad.
Neither are the same as Rascals. I think. I mean, I don't know why you bring back Tayo. He only really plays Genji, and Rascal can.
No, I think he plays. I think he has a bigger hero pool. I haven't seen it in a while because it's been a while since I've seen Contenders. But to me, he's clearly there's something about him that they like that Krusty likes and he wants to keep.
Mm-hmm.
So. That's why I think, again, You'll see all the free agents coming back. There's no way. I say there's no way. There is a chance somehow Violet gets away. And I think that comes to if some other team is able to just bid the ever-loving shit.
Well, Violet used to play with Roki on O2, didn't he? Or X6, sorry, X6.
I don't fucking remember.
It would have been X6, I'm pretty sure. Let me Google it.
Roki's not coming back.
You know what? Shush. Okay, I don't want to hear your nonsense. The entire Toronto fan base will explode if Roki does not come back.
I'm just saying. And then, like, maybe Toronto busts out the big bucks and says, let's try.
Maybe. No. Who did Violet used to play for?
Go to Wikipedia.
That's what I'm doing.
Type in Violet.
That's what I'm doing. Shock, he was on. Oh, he was on O2. Okay.
O2 Blast. So, yeah.
Which now actually makes me sad because if Toronto decides to go and sign the entire core of O2 like they did in at the start of season 2, why would you not sign Violet? He went to Shock and was fucking phenomenal.
Maybe if they got outbid back then. Who knows?
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's why I also say it's kind of crazy to think that anyone could outbid this Shock because they do have a lot of money to bid for these players.
Yeah.
So I just don't think anyone's leaving this team.
Yeah. Next is Soul. Fitz. Team Can. Illicit Team Can also.
2U's been declined. That's the one I wanted to point out. 2U's been declined.
2U. Okay.
I don't like this move.
Okay.
I think this is a very dumb move from Soul.
Well, you already have 2 off tanks. Michelle
no, you
and
don't
Marvel.
Have one.
No, Marvel counts. He plays Sigma.
He's a main tank player.
I know, but he plays Sigma, so he can flex the off tank. And realistically,
play one off tank. Yeah, that's a good flex.
Well, let me put it to you this way though. The 2 most valuable off tanks in this game and in the league are Diva and Sigma. You have that in Marvel and Michelle. Gesture fills every other role. Zarya is not valued as high. Zarya and Hog
better than I would say Michelle did.
Did 2U have as big of a sample size though?
Michelle didn't play at all this year.
Okay.
Well, what are you trying to prove?
Point taken. We'll just keep scrolling. No, it's okay. We're on Shanghai Dragons now.
I will say, no, wait, we're not. We still haven't even touched the boards. But I will say, I don't think Michelle's coming back either. I will say that. I think they're gonna not take Michelle, but they will take Marv.
Yeah.
So it's they're probably just looking to upgrade all the way at the off tank role.
Yeah.
Help Fury, if I'm not mistaken, was a free.
He is a free agent.
He's a free agent.
And he played with Gesture.
Someone tries to buy them.
Yeah.
That would be kind of funny. But Ocean's gone. I don't think that's too shocking. If it's shocking to you, I'll explain why it's not shocking. But
not really. I mean, I really didn't follow the APAC region that closely. So, Creative is coming back. I thought he looked good in the finals.
He did.
Slime is a free agent. Toby, they declined. They probably bring back Slime, I think.
I find it interesting that they declined to Toby. Why would you decline the man that's been with this roster that clearly you wanted to run in the finals and did well? Why would you decline him? Like, if we compare Lucio's, no, I think Slime's a way better Lucio. But if we're comparing Mercies, I think Toby's a way better Mercy. If we're comparing Briggs, I would actually think Toby's probably a better Brig.
I mean, as good as you can be at Brig.
I mean, you say that, but there is definitely a big difference between good and bad Brigs. Hell, you look at when New York would put Haxel on Brig this past year, and he would still outperform every single main support in the league.
Yep.
Because he had to play Brig for so long. He is a fucking phenomenal Brig. So, there is some skill to Brig. and Mercy that goes underappreciated. And Toby has those skills. He knows how to play them correctly. It's I get it's not the fucking feed your brains out Lucio mentality like Slime has, but it is a valuable skill set.
Yep. Next is Shanghai.
Ding is gone. I'm telling you now, Ding's gone. Out. Kaput. Gone. It's not going to be seen again.
Because
who the hell would pick him up?
Okay.
Okay, that's a little harsh. I think there are some teams that might pick him up because he is a good projectile, especially for an Sombra player.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, there's so many better people at that role.
Yeah. DM will probably come back, I think.
I believe they're going to try to get DM back.
Fleta and Lip. DM, Fleta, and Lip are probably, I think, are the only ones you really need to keep. I don't remember seeing Dia. Like, Dia and Ding weren't really played.
I'll explain why Dia's not seen.
Next is they're bringing back Fearless for sure. Gegari, her contract is expiring. I don't know if they re-sign her. Stand 1 is still under contract. Void is still under contract. Izayaki they elected to bring back. BJ Gon is under contract, and Luffy is his thing is expiring.
I disappeared, so give me a second. Let me explain. So Dia, the only reason he's been on this roster is he's the only Chinese player on this roster.
Yeah.
And I think there's going to be the excuse they use to finally get rid of him. So I do agree with you that I don't think Dia's coming back. But that's also why you never saw him. Because why the hell would you play Dia over Lip or DM?
Yeah.
Tank, you already touched on it. We've seen Kaguri's the only one that's going to be gone, that could be potentially gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that actually could likely happen.
Yeah.
I will say, is it going to be Shanghai's choice to let her go? No. I think it's going to be Gaguri's choice. It solely comes down to, does Gaguri want to play or does she want to get paid? Yeah. And I say that because if she wants to play, I think there's a lot of teams that'll take her.
Yeah.
That might not pay as much as Shanghai will, but there are a lot of teams that will take her. And I think there's a lot of teams in the league that she could start on easily. But the reason why I say it's pay or play, because she's the only female as of right now. And because of that, that just earned Shanghai fans out the fucking wazoo just for that. And they will lose fans if she's gone. Because she, again, is the only female in the league.
I don't know. I think you're putting a little bit too much weight on that.
I don't think I am. I definitely think it matters more than you'd realize, because I mean that's the reason why Dia's on the team, because it's just Chinese fans that are like, oh, we at least are, we have a Chinese player on the best Asian team. Come on, even though he doesn't play, and now they're probably not too worried about that.
Yep.
I definitely think they're in a position where it's better now for them, like because they're so good and they earned fans that way. That they might be like, we don't need these ones that are just gaining us fans because, well, fuck, we sucked at 0-40 the first season, so yeah, we needed fans. So you might be right that because of the fans this way, they might be willing to drop Gaguri on that case. But the thing I'll warn you about is that a lot of your fans are probably Fairweather fans as well. The moment you suck, they're gone. You haven't built, like, I think Shanghai is probably one of the least, has some of the least pure fans in the league. I think every other team has more like legit fans than Shanghai does. I truly believe that. Just because Shanghai's relied on things like having Dia, Gaguri, and now they're really good, so they've got Fairweather fans. So I think that's a bit of a concern that they need to be looking at.
Yeah.
But if they don't care, then they don't care, and that's great. I want to see Gaguri on a new team. I've wanted to see Gaguri on a new team for 2 years now, because I want to see her play. I want to have fucking women representation in the league and actual playing. That's why I've been wanting Aspen to be able to get in the league, just so we see some girl play and not just have it be a sausage fest the entire damn time. But off my rants about that.
Next,
Otherwise,
we're gonna go to Titans because I'm gonna save Toronto for last because boy do
I was gonna.
I
I think Luffy's not gonna get repicked
oh
up.
true.
All I wanted to add there.
Yeah.
I just don't think Luffy's gonna get repicked up. Even though I love Luffy, I want to see Luffy in the league. I don't think Shanghai's gonna repick him up.
Yeah.
Vancouver. Well, we don't really have any shockers here. We already knew most of this stuff.
Yep, Dalton's coming back. We knew. Shockwave is a free agent. Suna is a free agent. They declined that. They declined KSA, which was surprising. Shredlock is coming back. Karkar they declined, and Rolf is they decided to bring back. This is old news. Nothing really too surprising. They wanted to keep some Canadian talent, so there you go.
Yeah.
Next.
Washington.
Decay he's a free agent.
They're a dumpster fire again. Yay!
Why are you so happy about this? Poor Washington fans, dude.
At that tank line.
It
fucking sucks.
The tank line right now is just roar.
Exactly.
Stop roasting the man so bad, okay? He's doing his best.
Fucking garbage. He's the worst main tank in the league.
Either way, Aim God and Arc are
They
also
didn't
declined.
pick up Janu, a really good off tank,
Yeah.
a really good Sigma Diva player. No pick back up, huh?
Well, I think they want to, because right now it's a full Korean roster. I think they want to go back to being a mixed roster. I still don't know why you would.
No, they don't.
Why you would decline Janu there, or Stitch.
They
but
want to be all. I guarantee you, they want to be all Korean.
then why? Well, dude, the only way this makes sense to me is if they're trying to go back to mixed or Western, just to.
Maybe you're right. Actually, maybe
just to not alienate your home fans, right? I mean,
Florida did it and said, "Fuck it, we're gonna be good instead of having fans." And then guess what? They gained fans.
Yeah.
Florida doesn't give a shit, so I don't see why Washington would. Plus, why would you get rid of Arc then? Sure, okay, is Arc the greatest? No, there's easily upgrades in the main sport area, but the man can speak both Korean and English.
Mm-hmm.
He can't translate it. Like having
it also
is a smart idea.
It also might just be. How do I put it? Or what was I gonna say? You essentially release players because if they, because you were saying before, right? If they can keep Decay, you keep his friends around. So maybe you're opening up room to sign.
One of his friends, from what I know of.
Well, anyway, where I was going with it was maybe they're opening up room to bring in more of Decay's friends to try and keep him, but.
Absolutely, and that would explain why Roar is still under existing contract, and they didn't be like mutual agreement, get that motherfucker out of here.
Yeah,
like I agree with you, but I mean, it still means Roar's signed to this roster, which is hilarious to me.
Yeah. Okay. That's all the teams.
Until Toronto.
Oh boy. Okay, whoa. Diamond, we're gonna do an exercise here. Okay, we're going into Captain's Lounge. Or maybe not really, Captain's Lounge. Where am I going?
Really want to just sit here and like Washington. This is my plea to you, and ask, please, give us a sign, give us an understanding on what the fuck you are doing, because what the hell am I looking at? You have made a bunch of decisions that, from our perspective, make no sense. And don't get me wrong, you've got a plan. I'm not saying you don't. I absolutely think you have a plan, Washington. I just want to know
if it's a good one.
Not even if it's a good one. Fuck it. I just want to know what your plan is. Because you're right. Maybe they are trying to go back and mixed roster. But why? Why would you ever think of that when you had good okay, I'll also say this. Thank you, Washington, for not getting in the same trap that I thought you were going to fall in. I was afraid they were going to fall into the same trap they did in the previous year where they're like, hey, we were pretty good at the end of the season. Maybe we don't need to change too many pieces and just build around, only get rid of a few and pick up a few others. But no, they're like, nah, even though we did well, get the fuck out of here. We need to really rebuild. And I appreciate that, Washington. I do like it. I meme on you. I shit on you because you have Roar, who I do shit on unfairly a lot. I will admit that. But I'm a Gladiators fan. I saw what he did to my season in season 2. I was pissed. But like Roar has time and time again proven that he's not that good. I'm just saying. He has. He's shown that he's not that good of a main tank. He might be a good leader. He might be a good coach. You maybe want to move him there. Maybe. I don't know. I don't. Obviously, you guys determine that for yourselves. But like the only two you currently have for us knowing is that you have Roar and Tuba. And I know why you would re-pick up Tuba. Tuba proved that he was pretty good. Even Stitch didn't really light up till playoffs, so I can understand not re-picking him up. But why not Janu? Why would you not re-sign him? And if not, just so many question marks. And I just kind of hope that Washington, you give us a sign. You just help us understand. Just let us know what the hell you're doing. All right. That's my rant and ramble. Well, you're welcome.
I got my rant out.
And with that, I take my leave.
You take your leave. Yeah. Oh, you just straight up left. Okay, cool. Well, I suppose I'll just leave it at that. Well, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave a comment down below. And subscribe because that helps us out. At least that's what Diamond says. And yeah, cool.